Revelation chapter 11 and 14, and it reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." Giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, Ruha Rukakudash. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. I'll try to run through this article, bring out some precepts, and I'll wind it down. Okay, coming out of international source. Okay. And it reads, yo, check this out. It reads, New World Order versus Empire of Lies. Key takeaways from Lavrov UN speech. I'm going to read that again. It reads, New World Order versus Empire of Lies. And we know that Empire of Lies dealing with Babylon the Great. It says key takeaways from Lavrov's UN speech. Okay. It says the United States and its allies instigate new conflicts to prevent the emergence of a multipolar world. Russia Foreign Minister believes. Okay, they're obviously upset with the whole Brics build-up. It says the United States and its allies still reject the principle of equality in international relations. Lavrov said, Americans and Europeans keep looking down on the rest of the world, and that leads to their total instability in any negotiations. Washington and its allies keep making promises left and right that end up being renegated on, the Russian minister added. Okay. It says, as Russian President Vladimir Putin put it to the West, is now the real empire of lies, he said. And that's not furthest, I mean, that's really true. Okay. It's not furthest from the truth. I take that back. This is an empire of lies. Let's continue on. It says, reckless Western politicians have forgotten about self-preservation. NATO activities have reached unprecedented levels since the end of the Cold War. The top Russian diplomat believes the U.S.-led bloc forces have conducted drills that involve simulating nuclear strikes against Russia. He claimed, adding, the Washington is also actively seeking to project its military might in the Asia Pacific through establishing military political alliances with nations like Australia, South Korea, or Japan, and pushing them towards closer cooperation with NATO. Y'all already know where it's going. Sidebar for a short moment. This is this great war enter into what I hope an escalation stage so we can get out of this place. Okay. Excuse me. Now you had a condition I brought out in the video. Past. Russia had destroyed those Storm Shadow missiles and those depleted uranium shells, but more was just recently delivered to Zelensky. Okay. So this forever agenda is all over Russia, but we know how that's going to end. Let's continue on. Okay. We're going to read on. It says, such actions risk creating a new explosive geopolitical hotspot in addition to the European one. Lavrov warned, adding that Western politicians that have been so blinded by a feeling of impunity, I said that wrong, that they've lost the sense of self-preservation. No shit, excuse my language. The elites calling the shots here in America. That's no secret. Let's carry on. It says true democracy in international relations is within reach for the first time since 1945. That's the end of World War II. Okay, when the United Nations was established, the world has a chance to establish a true democracy world order, the Russian foreign minister said. The global majority, i.e. the nations of Asia, Africa, and Latin America, are increasingly seeking independence and equality, as well as respect for their sovereignty in international relations. Your BRIC nations. It is obvious for Russia that there is no other way, Lavrov told the UN, adding that the fact encourages optimism in those believing in the rule of international law and wishing to see the UN restored to its role of a central coordination body of world politics. Okay? In a nice way, they're saying they don't want to deal with the elites. Let's carry on with this. It says the West stands in the way of a just world order. I'm going to read that again. It says the West stands in the way of a just world order. And family, that's also war talk. Okay. It says the United States and its allies seek to stall the onset of a multipolar world order, and particularly by stirring up conflicts that artificially divide humanity into hostile blocks and prevent it from achieving common goals. The Russian minister pointed out, the West wants the world to play by its infamous and self-serving rules. Yeah, it's some nasty elites. Okay. He said, adding that the international community should instead strive for a world where everyone agrees on how to solve issues together on the basis of a fair balance of interests. And that's never going to happen with these elites in power. Okay. I'm almost done. It says Western sanctions hurt the world. Russia's calling for an immediate and full lifting of sanctions imposed against such nations as Cuba, Venezuela, Syria. Lavrov said, adding that such unilateral punitive measures blatantly violate the principles of sovereignty, equality of nations, and interfere with these countries' rights to development. Okay. One should put an end to any coercive measures imposed in circumvention of the UN Security Council, as well as the West's practice of manipulating its sanctioned policies to exert pressure on those deemed undesirable, he added. Yeah, he dealing with the mindset of these damn elites, man. And again, this is not just political talk. This is really war talk. It's just friendly war talk. That's what's going to happen. They're going to bomb the hell out of America, ultimately. Okay? Russia's top diplomat also blasted the U.S. over what he called threats against nations willing to work with Moscow. It is shameful for a great power to run around like this and threaten everyone, and only demonstrating its obsession with domination, he told journalists after the UN session. Russia's stance on conflict in Ukraine. Here we go. Moscow is ready for talks on its ongoing conflict with Kyiv at any time. Lavrov told a press conference on the sidelines of the UN Assembly. However, Russia will not consider any deals involving a ceasefire, he said, adding that Moscow and Kyiv supposedly almost reached an agreement in the first months of the conflict, following a series of talks in Belarus and Turkey, only for those projects to be disrupted, supposedly by Ukraine Western backers. Almost done, y'all. Putin said it is very clear. Yes, we are ready to talk, but we will not consider any ceasefire proposals because we did so once and were deceived. Russia also respects Ukraine's sovereignty in accordance with Ukrainian Declaration of Independence and its constitution. Lavrov said, adding that both documents also declare non-aligned status of Ukraine and respect for Russian language and Russian-speaking minorities. Last three. Ukraine's sovereignty was destroyed by those who staged and supported a coup, the leaders of which then declared a war on their own people, Lavrov said, referring to the 2014 Maidan coup. West is de facto waging war on Russia. That's a big one. Last few paragraphs. It says West is de facto waging war on Russia, and that's a fact currently. Since the United States and its allies are de facto engaging in a conflict with Russia, Lavrov told the press conference, "We call it a hybrid war, but it does not change things." He said Western nations are sending arms to Kyiv and training troops. He explained, so they are de facto fighting us, or de facto fighting against us with the hands and bodies of Ukrainians. And that's a fact. And they're using taxpayers' dollars to do it. Last paragraph. Western nations also openly say that Russia should be defeated on the battlefield. Moscow's top diplomat said, adding that Moscow is ready for such a development under such circumstances. If they want it to be a battlefield, let it be on the battlefield, he said. There you go. That is the end of that article. It's a bit long, but that was friendly war talk. Okay, Russia's not standing down, and I have to resurface this. That Sarmat, it won't be on standby forever. The reality is this: they're going to use that Sarmat to take out America. I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's the end game. Okay? And Israel, you have to stay up on not just Russia, Ukraine, really America versus Russia by way of Ukraine. You still have China, Taiwan, you have North Korea, okay, you have Iran, Israel. One of these conflicts, okay, it's going to set off. And I'm praying to set off to get us out of Babylon the Great. Why this build-up, if it be of the Most High, this build-up reaches a peak until that great judgment play out. But before that judgment play out, let's read this. Revelations 7. I think I want 1. Let me see. Because the elect has to be sealed, right? Yeah, let's read Revelation 7 and 1 for old time's sake. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. This is dealing with the elect, 144,000 and your remnant body. Okay. Verse 5, it says, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Verse 8. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. Okay, and that's going into the chosen being sealed. Okay, because there's no final Exodus without that happening. But I'm praying that soon. Okay, we're going to read verse 9. It says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, kindred, and peoples, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. Okay, and that's dealing with your John 7 and 35, before these Christians get simple on my comment board, thinking that's them. When you read John, I believe that's John 7 and 35. That's dealing with the dispersed among the people. I believe there's also an Acts 2 and 5 account. This is not talking about Ku Klux Klan trying to be Israelites, trying to get the kingdom. La-ah. Salvation is only for the children of Israel. And when that destruction and that judgment play out, the deliverance will only be for the 12 tribes. Excuse me, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Not racism, white supremacy. Okay? All the heathen nations. Okay? Okay, let me see if there's any more. Let's go to Isaiah. Let me see. Actually, I want Joel. I gotta resurface some of these old precepts, because we are entered into this time. At some point, that Sarmat, it gotta shoot. It gotta start shooting the missiles, man. Okay. The elites, like I said in my recent video, the elites, they're in panic mode, and that's only going to increase. Okay. Salakia, family, I just lost it. Give me a minute. I want that Joel account, because while they're staging the destruction of God's creation, his people, they're going to be met by a surprise of a lifetime when Yahushua and the host of heaven destroy the wicked. Okay. Joel chapter 3 and verse 2, it reads, I'm going to start at verse 1. Joel 3 and 1. It reads, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. That's dealing with their deliverance. That's dealing with the captives being freed. When Jesus Christ, Hamashiach Yahushai, make that beautiful presence to free us from this demonic captivity. Okay. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And okay, that's why I resurfaced John 7 and 35. The dispersed among the Gentiles was the scattered Hebrew Israelites. Okay. And they say everyone was dispersed among everybody. The 12 tribes of Israel was scattered among the nations, chiefly by way of a diaspora, starting with 70 AD. Then you had the slave passages that happened later on. Sub-Sahara, your European passage, European passage, transatlantic slave trade, and there are other passages that I didn't mention. So salvation is for the nation of Israel. The other nations, Revelation 13 and 10, y'all going to captivity. That's just the NLBL. Okay. Let's get Amos. I'm waiting there. Give me one moment. So stay up on these international affairs, Israel. While these things, while these conditions begin to increase, y'all have to stay up on these international affairs. Seriously, y'all have to be up on these global events. And don't leave this truth, okay? Give me one moment. We going to deal with the classic. We're going to start with verse 9. Amos 9 and verse 9. It reads, "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us." Okay, so the creator of heaven and the earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he's going to destroy the two parts of Israel for their wickedness and them refusing to repent. Okay, and we know who they are. Those that chiefly in entertainment, the Illuminati, Hollywood, those newscasts like Comedy News Network, all that illuministic madness to deceive people. That's going to burn away on the day of the Lord. Okay. Verse 11 read, this is going into the kingdom. It reads, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it in the days of old." Okay. Because the scripture tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes, I believe it's 3:16. It's either 3:16 or 4:16, require that which was past. Okay, roughly paraphrasing. We're going into depth. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Ba'Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom.